It's a wet and gloomy day in downtown Atlanta for a Sun Belt Conference showdown. The Georgia State Panthers, on their home turf at Center Park Stadium, welcome in the Warhawks of ULM. Hi, everybody. Great to have you with us alongside Sam Crenshaw. I'm Chris Sylvester, and while many college football conferences and teams are in the very early stages of their season, here in the Sun Belt, we've hit the stretch run.
Stretch run, indeed, for this team. And you talk about ULM. Of course, they've got a 12-game schedule. This is their 8th game. They're looking for their first win, and they want to get one today, possibly. It's their 8th chance to get it right. Meanwhile, Georgia State, a disappointing loss last week. They want to get that bitter taste after their mouth as well.
ULM, despite a winless record, they do boast the top passing offense in the Sun Belt, and they've got an NFL prospect at tight end, the fifth-year senior Josh Peterson.
They do. Josh Peterson is one of Colby Sue's favorite targets. There he is, 24 receptions. Of course, his father, the Philadelphia Eagles head coach, and also he's a legend at ULM. This guy does great things for this team. Preseason all-conference selection. Watch for him today.
Georgia State, the Panthers, they run for more than 200 yards per game. That's good for 20th in the FBS. We'll see a stable of talented running backs this afternoon, led by the junior out of Tallahassee, Florida, Destin Coates.
Destin Coates has picked up the mantle from Trey Barnett, who graduated after last season, and Barnett's the all-time leading rusher in the history of the program. Coates has come out and had 3 100-yard-plus games already this season. He can also catch the ball out of the backfield, and is great with his pass protections as well. Watch for him today.
It's the ULM Warhawks of the Georgia State Panthers. Sun Belt football on an early Saturday afternoon in Atlanta. It's up next. We're back at downtown Atlanta at Center Park Stadium, just about ready for kickoff between the ULM Warhawks and the Georgia State Panthers. Take a look at today's weather. Temperatures in the low 70s right now. Winds a little more than 10 miles per hour. Got a 20% chance of rain. It was coming down pretty heavy 10-15 minutes ago, but right as we're ready for kickoff, here's Mr. Sunshine.
Right on schedule, right? That's the way we planned it. It's just the way you draw it up, right?
Well, the Georgia State Panthers coming off a loss to Coastal Carolina. Chanticleer's up to 15th in this week's college football top 25 rankings. That was the first shutout loss they had since September 2017 when they went to Penn State and got shut out. And certainly hoping to bounce back, as is this ULM club that lost at home last week to a very good Appalachian State team.
This Georgia State team wanted to prove that they are one of the competitive teams in the Sun Belt Conference. And nothing could prove that more than to go out today and execute better, have things go their way, and get a win here at home.
The freshman out of Gadsden, Alabama, Daniel Starks, has it on the tee at the 35-yard line. This is the 6th all-time meeting between these two programs. ULM in Monroe last season beat Georgia State by a couple of touchdowns. Off we go in downtown Atlanta. And signaling for a fair catch, that's Quavion White. So Georgia State will set up shop at the 25-yard line. An explosive offense that was shut out, as we mentioned last week. 20th best rushing attack in the FBS. They run for 205 yards per game. One
of the reasons is they have a veteran offensive line. You got 4 of the 5 starters back from last year. You talk with Thomas Austin, the offensive line coach. He says, yeah, we got guys who have over 1,000 snaps each last year, a lot of touchdowns, but last year's touchdowns can't win this year's game.
There you see the redshirt freshman quarterback, Cornelius Brown IV. Everybody around these parts, they call him Quad. 6'5", 200 pounds, out of Birmingham, Alabama. And he, along with his offense, hoping to bounce back. He drops to throw, taking a shot up top to start the game, and the catch is made inside the 20-yard line. Welcome back, Cornelius McCoy. He's missed the last 3 games, and they go his way on the first play of the game. And just like that, the Panthers are in the red zone.
We talk in the open about the running game, but they come out with a surprise. And he's happy to have Cornelius McCoy healthy again. Big-time catch right here, preseason all-conference selection.
McCoy, the junior, 5'11" wide receiver out of Deerfield Beach, Florida. And here's Destin Coates. He's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage and dropped for a 1-yard loss. That's the leading tackler in the Sun Belt Conference, Travion Webster, the senior out of Longview, Texas.
Heard a lot of talk about him. He's a gamer. He's a guy who just loves to play.
Take a look at our impact players Jamarius Gilmore, the anchor on that very talented and experienced Georgia State offensive line. And then when ULM is on offense for the first time, we'll see the outstanding redshirt freshman Antavius Lane. A straight ahead handoff. Coates rumbles down to the 15-yard line. And so the Panthers will have 3rd down and 7 at the Warhawk 15. Just underway here in downtown Atlanta. ULM, their defense, they've had some trouble getting off the field on 3rd down this year. 54% of the time, the opposition turns 3rd down into 1st down. And an empty backfield here for Brown. Well protected. He fires the slant inside the 10. And that's Cornelius McCoy again. Down to the 7-yard line and move the chains for Georgia State.
Panthers with 5 wide last time. Empty backfield. Still, the offensive line gave Quad Brown more than enough time to pick his receivers. There's Coach Sean Elliott in his 4th season. Came over from South Carolina.
Sean Elliott, at one point an interim head coach at South Carolina back in 2015 when Steve Spurrier resigned. 1st and goal for the Panthers. And the straight ahead run will get down to the 5-yard line. Destin Coates, 3 early carries. And the linebacker Hunter Smith made the stop. Now, Georgia State on the doorstep on the game's opening possession after being shut out last week. They'll bring McCoy in motion. Brown throws. That's caught. Driving towards the pylon. Touchdown, Georgia State. The senior tight end, Roger Carter, hauls in his 4th touchdown of 2020. And the Panthers off and running.
Carter, very reliable, great hands, leans over, gets it just inside the pylon for 6.
Oh, Roger Carter has been giving Sunbelt defenses fits his entire time as a Georgia State tight end. Matt Vietor, the ULM head coach, joked with the media at his weekly presser saying, it seems like he's been there forever. And if he'd like, he can come back with the NCAA granting the extra year of eligibility. Ruiz, the grad transfer from North Carolina A&T, knocks through the extra point. And the Georgia State Panthers have a 7-0 lead over the visiting ULM Warhawks.
Timeout.
Thanks to a Roger Carter touchdown reception. Got some fans in the stands here at Center Park Stadium in downtown Atlanta. Georgia State, a 6-play, 75-yard scoring drive to open up the ball game. And that ought to feel good for this Panthers team. We got shut out last week, 51-0 here against an undefeated Coastal Carolina group.
Feels good indeed. Coach Sean Elliott, his big comment after last week, he can't wait to play a game. He would have played this game on Monday if he could have.
Yeah, they wanted to erase that taste out of their mouths, and they've done it rather quickly this afternoon as Ruiz's kick goes out of bounds. So some favorable field position for a ULM Warhawk offense that has struggled to score the football this season. They average
Kick out about
13.5 points per game. That's the 4th lowest mark among FBS teams that have played this fall. And they're led by the big sophomore, 6'3", 240-pound quarterback out of 40, Texas, Colby Suits. He leads the Sun Belt in passing yards, and he's 15th in the country.
And we expected to see that. It was raining earlier, so we wondered how that was going to affect their game plan, knowing the fact that they didn't have their top running back, Josh Johnson, available today. But the Suns come back out, and we'll see how they get things started.
ULM playing without their starting tailback, Josh Johnson. And Georgia State probably happy to not see him in the backfield. He ran for 2 touchdowns against the Panthers last year as Suits takes the shot up the sideline looking for Jevin Frett. And the pass falls to the turf, incomplete. Well, the opening quarter has certainly been a big issue for this Warhawk bunch through 7 games. ULM has not led at all at any point this season, and they've been outscored 87-10 in the opening quarters of their games.
But if you're a coach, you say, you know what, it has to get better, and you have to break through at some point. Why not go out and try to make it happen today?
Suits with trips to the left side and a straight-ahead handoff to Isaiah Phillips, the sophomore. His first start of the season, 5'7" tailback out of Lufkin, Texas, quite a ways northeast of Houston. And it's quickly 3rd and 8 for ULM. Take a look at our impact players for the Warhawks. Malik Jackson, a young receiver emerging in this ULM offense, caught a touchdown late last week against App State, and then Travion Webster, who we saw on Georgia State's first possession. He leads the Sun Belt in tackles. A wide 2x2 set for Suits on a 3rd and 8. Hit as he throws, and his intended receiver, Fret, gets knocked down. No penalty markers on the field, and the Warhawks go 3 and out on their first possession.
Big pressure that time by Victor Hayward. 37 saw him coming in and bring some pressure.
They mentioned that they haven't scored on their first possession this season, and it's often cliche to say that a team needs to get off to a good start, but I think that speaks very true to this ULM team. Daniel Starks sends it away. That is a booming punt that lands inside the 5 and rolls through the end zone for a touchback. So the Panthers of Georgia State, with a 6-play, 75-yard drive on their first possession, they'll get the ball back up 7-0. And it's early, but this will be a critical defensive sequence for ULM.
It will be, and you will to see how Georgia State starts this one. They came out to start the game with a long pass play. Let's see if they come back now and really go to that ground attack. It's what I expect. We'll see what Quad Brown and the offense have in store for ULM.
There's Quad Brown, his 10th touchdown throw of the season to the senior tight end Roger Carter in the game's first possession. And he'll work with an empty backfield here. He'll take a shot up the left sideline looking for Pinckney, and he was covered well. Stride for stride by Josh Newton, sophomore out of Monroe, Louisiana.
Different alignment there by the offense. They had 4 receivers up at the top, and then 1 at the bottom, and that was Pinckney, and he went for him. Didn't make the connection that time. Right back up on the ball.
Brown, that was his first incompletion, and this time he's met and dropped in the backfield. Kevin Pointer, the redshirt freshman out of Jonesboro, Arkansas, collects his 3rd tackle for loss this season, and 3rd and long upcoming for Georgia State.
Big fella, quick as a cat. Right up through the middle and making the big stop on Quad Brown. Tackle for loss.
ULM's defense no stranger to Quad Brown. He played the second half of the game at Monroe last season, went 8 of 18 for 80 yards in what was a 2-touchdown win, 45-31 for the Warhawks over the Panthers. Georgia State needs the 30 for a fresh set of downs. Brown looking for Pinckney, tried to come back and get it, but the officials say incomplete. Pinckney arguing that he somehow slid a foot in bounds, but for the time being, Georgia State will send out the punt team.
Looked like Brown kind of threw that one at his hip pocket. He turned around and couldn't haul it in. Threw it behind him.
Ooh.
Well, he made the catch.
Awfully close with the official right on top of it, signaling incomplete. Pinckney, Georgia State's leading receiver. 5 touchdown receptions this season, the 6'4" target out of Greenwood, South Carolina. Here's Michael Hayes, the redshirt freshman, and a line drive punt that's going to hop inside the 40-yard line. And Perry Carter decided to pick it up, and he lost the football, and the Panthers recover.
You know your special teams coach is telling you to stay away from that. To back away from it. Just a bad judgment call, bad decision. Georgia State gets the football back. Here's another look at it.
There's absolutely no reason for Perry Carter to even try and touch that football. You see him in a crowd there, and then went off of his fingertips and recovered by the Panthers.
On the field is a muff by the receiving team. Excuse me. Receiving team recovered by the kicking team. 1st and 10.
Just like that, Georgia State offense back in business.
And when you're 0-7, you just can't afford to make plays like that.
You're on the road. You want to do smart things to start the game.
So a quick breather on the sideline for this Georgia State offense. They get back on the field, their 3rd possession, and Brown runs straight ahead down to the 34-yard line. Quad Brown, the redshirt freshman out of Birmingham, Alabama, saw time in 4 games last season as a true freshman. And he's had some impressive showings this year. He's on the freshman All-American watch list. Destin Coates, the junior out of Tallahassee, gets loose. He's inside the 20 and driven down at the 15-yard line. 19-yard run for Destin Coates.
Watch him run this right up the middle, right off the blocking up there up front. Malik Sumter, the center. Big run. Webster there for the stop.
Georgia State just so quick on offense as Coates gets down inside the 10-yard line. Destin Coates, 8th in program history in rushing yards. Tops in the Sun Belt this season in rushing yards per game. He averages 108. In fact, last week against Coastal, first time he's been held under 100 this season. Brown sends that one to the far side of the field, and Cornelius McCoy makes his 3rd catch, just shy of a first down. So 3rd and short upcoming for Georgia State.
It's like McCoy's making up for lost time. It doesn't matter how you throw it to him. I'm going to catch it today. I'm glad to be back.
Georgia State very happy. Sean Elliott very happy to have him back. Coates trying to get a push, does have the first down. And it'll be 1st and goal at the 3-yard line of ULM for Georgia State. The Panthers gifted with the muffed punt. Mentioned it earlier, the Panthers 20th in the FBS in rushing yards per game. Only 106 yards of total offense last week. That's how good Coastal Carolina's defense was.
That's it, and that's what they want to make up for this week and go out and have a clean game on offense and get that running game going again.
Quad Brown waltzes into the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia State. His 5th rushing score of 2020. And an early 2-possession lead for the Panthers.
This is what you have to watch out for. You're facing Georgia State's offense. He can fake the handoff, and Quad Brown can keep it in. He's a big, tall guy, a lot of arms and legs, but he gets the job done. He's done it a number of times this season. 2nd touchdown of the day now for Georgia State.
6 plays, 37 yards, and it took the Panthers just 1:46 to score their 2nd touchdown of the opening quarter. Ruiz knocks through the extra point, and the Georgia State Panthers have a 2-touchdown lead here in downtown Atlanta over the visiting Warhawks of ULM, thanks to the muff punt. Well, the Panthers of Georgia State, who didn't sniff the end zone last week at home against Coastal Carolina, they've already put in 2 touchdowns early in this one. The band is loving it. Great to have the band in the stands for this game.
You know, you don't get that everywhere.
No, you
In
don't.
some places, the bands, you know, because of COVID, it's really changed our world and changed the game they experience.
Noel Ruiz sends it away. Perry Carter nearly slips and falls. He was the one who muffed the punt, and he's taken down around the 15-yard line. That's where ULM's offense will set up shop, their 2nd possession. Take a look at the Sun Belt Conference standings, and while the American maybe over the last few years has been the best group of 5 conference, I think you could make a real argument for the Sun Belt here in 2020. Of course, Coastal Carolina 15th in the country. App State right behind them. They're undefeated in the conference. Troy's had a tough schedule. On the other side, Louisiana got the big early season win at Iowa State. Their only loss has come against Coastal Carolina. And who needs preseason polls? Because Coastal Carolina was picked to finish last in the Sun Belt Conference.
You believe that? They had fewest points of anybody in the entire conference in the preseason poll.
And they set the tone early in the season by going to Kansas and beating Les Miles. As that is not a good sign for ULM. Isaiah Phillips, starting in place of the injured Josh Johnson, is grabbing his right leg. And we're going to step aside while they check on the sophomore tailback out of Lufkin, Texas. 14-0 Panthers early in downtown Atlanta. Redshirt freshman. You see the Warhawks are playing a full 12-game schedule this fall, one of 4 FBS teams. Colby Suits takes a shot deep down the field, and nice coverage from the Panthers. Threw into traffic looking for Jaquan Bloomfield, the sophomore out of Katy, Texas.
Got a flag there, and I think he may have made some contact with number 27, Jalen Jones, who was on the coverage for Georgia State on that play.
Defensive. Pass interference. Number 27. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, the first fresh set of downs for ULM comes courtesy of the pass interference penalty against Georgia State. And there you see the hold.
Yeah, kind of tangled up there. Tangled up with 27, Jalen Jones.
Jones, the fourth-year junior, Georgia native. Sean Elliott telling us earlier in the week he'd like to see his team limit the penalties. Jackson in motion. Suits lost the football. And Georgia State might have it. Yes, they do. Another fumble recovered by the Panthers. Dante Wilson, the senior out of Jefferson, Georgia, picks up the loose ball.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First and 10, Georgia State.
And the early game woes continue.
Defensive line. Watch big number 90. That's Hardwick Willis with a pop right here. Ball comes out. Dante Wilson's there to fall on it for Georgia State. Willis, one of the these guys are both team captains with this team this year. We're both elected team captains by their teammates and for their leadership, and they're showing you why right there.
Hardwick Willis, the fourth-year junior out of Jonesboro, Georgia. All-conference honorable mention, as you mentioned, partner. And again, the Panthers, 2 straight possessions. They start in Warhawk territory. Here's the pitch out to Tucker Gregg. And the former walk-on works down to the 21-yard line. I mentioned Georgia State as a stable of talented running backs.
This guy's quite a story. Quite a story. A walk-on, really worked his way through special teams. Got some touches last year. Had a big game against Arkansas State.
I mentioned that Arkansas State game. 142 rushing yards in that game. It was a game where the Panthers were without Destin Coates. And there he goes, Tucker the Trucker, as Sean Elliott calls him, picks up the first down to the 15-yard line. Got that nickname because he says, look, Tucker Gregg, he's not going to run around defenders. He's going to run straight through them.
You just saw it right there. He's not bashful when he gets his number called.
And the Panthers are back in the red zone. A straight-ahead handoff to Tucker Gregg, the junior out of Chatsworth, Georgia, about 90 miles north of here. 6-yard run. Last week, he struggled to find running room against the inside of Coastal Carolina's defense. 5 carries for 8 yards, but he's well surpassed that total on his first few carries in this one. Gregg will get down to the 5-yard line, right near a first down for Georgia State. And it will set up first and goal for the Panthers.
Gregg running on the right side of the Georgia State line, right behind the right side. Pat Bartlett, Malik Sumter, Jonathan Bass picking up the tough yards. And another first down.
That starting offensive line, very experienced. They've combined for 111 starts. And Shamarius Gilmore, who we featured earlier, has started on that offensive line for the last 3 years. ULM does a nice job of taking down Quad Brown at the line of scrimmage. Seth Mason, the redshirt freshman out of Allen, Texas, the powerhouse high school there in the Lone Star State. Allen High School.
Yeah. They play some ball down there.
This is a very young front four for the most part for the ULM defense, getting some valuable experience here in 2020. Second and goal. Tucker trying to truck his way through the middle of the defense, but the Warhawks are all over it. No gain. Sir Darius Ellis, the sophomore out of Monroe, stops the tailback, and now it's third and goal.
Coach Elliott right now wants to see if his team can finish. You're back in the red zone. He wants to see if they can finish this drive off with 6 points. Big third down play here.
Carter, who caught the game's opening touchdown, comes in motion. Brown Bootlegs out, throws to the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia State. There he is again. Cornelius McCoy hauls in the score.
Like we say, welcome back to Cornelius McCoy. The roll out to the right side, to the left side there. And the pass easily for McCoy. Like I said, today it seems to be determined. He's not going to drop anything. He's just glad to be back.
Is that the best Cornelius duo in college football? I think so.
I think so. I haven't heard of another.
Ruiz makes it 21-0 Panthers. And for ULM, this is all too familiar.
You still got 5:16 to go here in this first quarter.
It's very early.
It's very early. And you talk about how ULM has never, hasn't scored in the first quarter. They still have a chance to do that. But boy, they got to get some things turned around and do something and do some things right. Try to sustain the drive. They're trying to go for long shots, and they got a first down last possession, but they couldn't sustain it. And something to keep this Georgia State offense on the sideline.
You see Sean Elliott in his 4th season at the helm of the program. Former offensive line coach at South Carolina. And that's probably why Georgia State has one of the better offensive lines in the group of 5.
It's one of his agendas when he came in as head coach was to really have a group that would establish the running game. Georgia State's program up to that point, they really struggled with the run. And so, and always had quarterbacks who led the conference in passing because we didn't have a running game that was consistent. Well, that's happened here, and it's changed the fortunes of this team, the expectations. And now the other teams around the conference know when they face Georgia State, get ready for a ground attack.
Barry Carter signals fair catch, and ULM will try again on offense from the 25-yard line. Warhawks down 3 scores early, seeking their first road win since October of last year at Texas State. And not going to win many games when you're outscored 155-51 through 7 games in the first half of the season. I mentioned the first quarter woes, 87-10, and now we see a new quarterback, as expected, Jeremy Hunt, the junior out of Oak Park, Illinois, at the controls for ULM. Hunt, a junior college transfer from Trinity Valley in Texas, where he accounted for more than 2,600 yards last season. Caden Roach able to break some tackles beyond the line of scrimmage, and that winds up being a 6-yard run for the redshirt freshman. One carry this season coming in. It came last week. He's out of Magnolia, Arkansas.
Some extra effort. That play had stopped. His play had stopped. Roach kept it going and managed to get a nice run. And maybe that's something they can do now with the change of pace at quarterback. Let's watch for it.
Hunt struggled last week against a really good App State defense through a couple of interceptions. Coaches say he's a bit more mobile than Colby Suits, but hasn't run a whole lot when he's played. Play action, and over the middle, that's knocked away. Jonathan Hodo, the 5th-year senior, was the intended target. And Quavion White, the junior out of Greer, South Carolina, got a hand on it. There's Matt Viator, head coach of the Warhawks. He's in his 5th season, spent 10 years at McNeese State, very successful FCS program where he guided his alma mater to the FCS playoffs 5 times. Now, this is a down year for ULM. The Warhawks have finished 4-4 in the Sun Belt each of the last 2 seasons. But as we've mentioned a few times, they're winless through 7 games. So here's 3rd down. ULM's really struggled on 3rd down this year. Nice catch made by Carroll. And he motors into Georgia State territory down to the Panther 46-yard line. Jordan Carroll, sophomore out of Forney, Texas. And Jeremy Hunt completes his first pass.
Jeremy Hunt, really extended the play, and really threaded the needle on that one. There's some defenders. Rolling to his right side and looks right through those blue jerseys. That's an impressive completion.
7th catch of the season for Jordan Carroll, who's listed at 6'3", 200 pounds. Hunt wings it out to Jackson. He's got it in the flat, and he spins down to the 41-yard line of Georgia State. Jeremy Hunt, well-traveled junior quarterback out of Oak Park, Illinois. Spent his freshman season at Central Missouri, a Division II program. Then, as we mentioned, went the JUCO route last year as a sophomore. Trinity Valley, City College in Texas, where he had 24 touchdowns. And they're hoping that he can give them a spark here late in the season. 4-yard catch and run for Malik Jackson. Hunt drops to throw. He'll take a shot down the right sideline for Carroll, and it's knocked away at the last moment. Bryquise Brown, the redshirt frosh out of Dorchester, Massachusetts. Went to high school here in Georgia at Lithia Springs. He knocked it away from Jordan Carroll. Whoa, looked like it hit his helmet, actually.
He just got a hand on it. He just got a hand to deflect it. Bounced off the helmet. Bryquise Brown with a big play. His confidence has grown as the weeks have progressed during this season. Solid performer.
But you like the throws that you've seen from Jeremy Hunt on this possession.
He's got the tools. He really does. He's got this team moving.
Well, there you see the third down struggles for ULM. Just 24% this year. That's 4th lowest in the FBS. Play breaks down, and Hunt takes off. A first down for ULM inside the 30-yard line, and the penalty marker comes in probably for a late hit. Hunt and Strawn exchanging words.
Yep, and that hit was by 34. And Tavius Lane, who's just been a big player for Georgia State this season.
And as good as Colby Suits has been for ULM at quarterback, we mentioned at the top that he leads the Sun Belt in passing yards, 15th best in the FBS entering play this week. Jeremy Hunt gives them that aspect of the game where if something breaks down and there's good coverage downfield like there just was, he can
Personal foul.
run for a first down.
Defense with targeting.
Wow.
Number 93. Half the distance to the goal line. 1st and 10. Correction. 34. Number 34.
Tavius Lane is.
The previous play is under further review.
Well, as they do with all targeting calls, they'll take it up to the replay booth. Oh, and Tavius Lane has just been fantastic for Georgia State's defense this year. He's the team's leading tackler, redshirt freshman out of West Palm Beach, and John Elliott hoping that the call on the field is reversed.
So look, it was targeted. I don't know if there was any helmet contact there at all.
Just a late hit, if anything.
Yeah, just a late hit. And he was the quarterback was going to the ground. So I can see that, but not with targeting. Would not think. You mentioned that Tavius Lane. They call him the hit stick. He is all over the field defensively. Watch for him the rest of the day because he makes a lot of things happen for the Georgia State defense. Has an interception, return for a touchdown. Has been Sun Belt Conference Defensive Player of the Week for his play against East Carolina. Just a guy. And the thing of it is, he was injured back in the spring and the summer. So he couldn't really work out, do any of the things that the team could do. Didn't take part in spring football at all, the limited amount of spring football Georgia State got to have before the pandemic struck. So he really came into the fall camp working really hard to be ready to play for this team, and he leaves it all out there on Saturday afternoons.
The officials reviewing a targeting call that would eject Antavius Lane from this game and put ULM in the red zone for the first time this afternoon. But we're fortunate the sun is out. About 15 minutes before kickoff, it was pouring rain, and that was not in the forecast at all.
No, it wasn't in the forecast. Just a 10-20% chance of rain, and it rained throughout the morning. We promise you, folks, we're right up until about 15 minutes before kickoff, and then the sun comes out. It's really nice. We got a breeze. It's getting cool, but a very pleasant fall day for football.
Hey, it's November. We'll absolutely take this weather.
Absolutely. We will.
A long review, as is usually the case with these targeting calls. Let's see what they've come up with.
After further review, there is no targeting on the play, but the personal foul for unnecessary roughness still will be enforced. Half the distance to the goal, number 34 can remain in the game.
So the Georgia State Panthers breathe a sigh of relief. Tavius Lane able to stay in the game. And as we suspected when we saw the replay, not targeting, but a late hit.
Late hit, and the quarterback was already going to the ground. So that's why they really got up Tavius Lane for still making that hit.
Jeremy Hunt has led this ULM offense down to the 15-yard line of Georgia State. And here's a straight ahead handoff through the middle, bursting down to the 5-yard line. That's Tyler Glass, the safety.
Or is it David Myers?
You're right, that is Javen Myers. He's worn a few different numbers this season. He's number 1 in this game. And
I'm watching the clock. We got 2:30, 2:33, 2:32 to see something happen for the first time this season, Chris.
Yep. Second and short. It'll be Myers again, and he slips a tackle, picks up a first down. It'll be first and goal for ULM.
And we're seeing some confidence now with this offensive line for ULM. We're getting some positive things to happen. And maybe Hunt coming in has ignited some of that. Coaching staff was hoping that would happen. He has his team moving in the right direction right now. Got 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Warhawks with a chance now to get some points on the board.
A couple of early turnovers have led to this 21-0 lead for Georgia State. With ULM right on the doorstep, trying to get 7 points back. There's Peterson. His first catch, the all-conference tight end, is dropped in the backfield. Fifth-year senior. 9 touchdown receptions a season ago, including one against the Panthers in Monroe. And he is the son of Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl winning head coach Doug Peterson, who I'm sure is watching somewhere.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. But of course, when Doug Peterson was a standout years ago in Louisiana Monroe. First time they've gone to Peterson today.
A second and goal. That catch backed ULM up 1 yard. And now Hunt spikes it into the turf. Are you surprised that on these last 2 plays that the Warhawks have abandoned the run?
I really am. You're down inside the red zone. You want to finish off the drive. Your line has been giving you a chance. They've been fighting, giving you a chance. And you got a quarterback that you have to, you have to respect what he can do potentially with his legs. To me, that's what you use to try to get into the end zone. But they're not doing it for some reason. Let's see. This is 3rd and goal coming up.
ULM just 10 first quarter points this season. Trying to add some to that. Hunt looking for Peterson, and it's knocked away, but a penalty marker flies in. Jalen Jones covering the all Sunbelt tight end.
Knocked it down with the right hand, but watch that left hand. I'm sure that's what the penalty flag was for.
Peterson, a big target, 6'5", 235 pounds.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 27. By rule, the foul occurred in end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First and goal.
So the Warhawks catch a break. And they'll have a few more tries to punch in their first score of the afternoon. ULM averages just 13.5 points per game this season. Hunt under center. Perry Carter on the jet sweep. Walks into the end zone. Touchdown, ULM.
And what a finish to this drive. You want to do that? And also the guy that scores a touchdown, the guy who muffed the punt earlier. A little bit of redemption there. And we got 6 points in the first quarter.
Nice play drawn up by first-year offensive coordinator Iman Nagavi. Spent the last 3 years coaching the offensive line at ULM. And despite the numbers being low in the scoring department and the yardage, he thinks that this is an offense that has made some strides as the season has moved along.
This is something that reflects that, the change of pace at quarterback. I mean, you start out things with Suits, you know what he gives you, but you make the change and go to Hunt. And here's another look at it.
Perry Carter ran in a touchdown last week against App State. So they sort of run that same play they did against Mountaineers at home.
And it works. Smiles on that sideline. Look at that. It's a little different. Look at that ULM sideline. Got some smiles. Holding hands up. We're in this game. Got some points scored here on the road.
See if they can build on that and see if their defense can come up with a stop. This could be a much closer game if ULM didn't turn over the ball twice in the early going.
You got two hungry teams. You got two very hungry teams, of course, for the whole season. There you go. Did not led a game this season.
Still a lot of work to do to lead in this one, but they're on the scoreboard. Quavion White on the kick return. Gets out across the 25-yard line. So probably the lengthiest break that the ULM defense has had in this opening quarter. Their offense putting together a scoring drive inside of a minute left to play. Boy, Quad Brown has been awfully good early on in this game. He's accounted for all 3 touchdowns, a couple of touchdown throws, and he ran in his 5th score of the season. So Brown in the offense. They'll start at the 27-yard line. And there's Jamias Williams, the transfer from South Carolina, getting loose. Taken down across the 45-yard line. 4th-year junior out of Athens, Georgia. He was a defensive back with the Gamecocks.
Defensive back in high school. I watched this guy play in high school locally, and he does it all on the offensive side as a running back, as a defensive back on defense.
Well, Brown was staring down his target in Kadarius Thompson there. Unfortunate that ball wasn't intercepted. Josh Newton was licking his chops in coverage for ULM. Is that an aspect of Brown's game that you'd like to see him improve on? Maybe not staring down his receivers as much? Because that was a dangerous throw right there.
That's something he needs to work on. It's something that he tried to do.
78 passing yards for Georgia State in this opening quarter. That could be the quarter's final play. Looks like it will be. All right, 1 quarter in the books from Center Parc Stadium in downtown Atlanta. The Georgia State Panthers, thanks to 3 Quad Brown touchdowns.
End of the first quarter.
Up by 14.
Timeout.
Welcome back to Center Parc Stadium in downtown Atlanta. 1 quarter gone, and Georgia State with a 2-touchdown lead over visiting ULM. The 6th all-time meeting this afternoon between the Warhawks and Panthers. ULM with a slight edge in the all-time series, 3-2. And the teams are 1-1 here in Atlanta. Brown with pressure coming, dumps it off to Coates. It's off of his fingertips. He dropped it. Incomplete. ULM bringing the pressure. And it was Austin Hawley, the senior safety out of Gladewater, Texas, who came.
And watch it, Hawley coming fast here. Brown had to get rid of that thing, and Coates usually has pretty steady hands receiving. And he had the lineman out in front of him ready to run that screen. Didn't work that time.
So here's ULM. They dug themselves an early 21-0 hole. They score, and then their defense gets a stop.
Some confidence on that sideline. Believe so, this team. Now let's see what happens when they get the ball back this time.
Michael Hayes, the redshirt freshman out of Florence, South Carolina, sends it away, and out of bounds it goes, just beyond the 20-yard line.
So let's see now how the Warhawks offense starts things up this time when they come back. Do they continue with Jeremy Hunt? We would think.
Yep, looks like it. Here he comes.
Confidence for that young man in their last possession. Moved the ball down the field. He tucked the ball in for a big run. Things to keep the chains going and keep that Georgia State offense on the sideline. Great drive they had.
Second possession where Jeremy Hunt is at the controls of the ULM offense, and a straight ahead handoff to the redshirt frosh Caden Roach out of Magnolia, Arkansas. Big 5'11", 205-pound tailback. Now, there was a media publication before the season that tabbed Jeremy Hunt to win Sun Belt Newcomer of the Year. He's gotten off to a slow start, but maybe here late in the season he can show the Warhawks something and give them something to get excited about for 2021.
Indeed. He's making...
Hunt with the pressure coming. Down he goes. Georgia State gets to the junior quarterback, and they drop him back at the 18-yard line.
Jashawn Taylor's there for the stop, along with Dante Wilson once again. Here comes the pressure. Watch for 47 there, and 52 there to finish it off. Big tackle for loss.
Taylor's first sack this season. 6'3", 211-pound outside linebacker out of Cordell, Georgia. So now it's 3rd and 13. Hunt with more pressure coming, and they sack him again. Jeffrey Clark this time, the redshirt freshman.
Redshirt freshman Clark is one that the coaches really think a lot about. He has a great upside for the future. Worked really hard in the offseason. And here he comes. Watch for number 91. Right there. He won't let Hunt go. Takes him down for the sack.
So Hunt, who was well protected on ULM scoring drive last time they had the football, gets sacked twice. And the Warhawks go 3 and out. A floater that's going to bounce across the 50. That's a very favorable hop for ULM. And it stops around the 39-yard line.
Timeout.
That's where Quad Brown and the Georgia State offense will start when we return. 2-touchdown lead for the Panthers in Atlanta. Two-touchdown lead for the host Georgia State Panthers over the Warhawks of ULM. We have flipped the calendar to November. And we've got the Pac-12, the MAC starting this week, but many college football teams sitting out this weekend. Tucker Gregg trying to find some running room and gets back to the line of scrimmage. A nice shot of Center Park Stadium here in downtown Atlanta with the clouds up above. The sunshine went away, Sam. Many great moments here. Of course, the former home, longtime home of the Atlanta Braves. And this used to be called Turner Field. Hosted the Olympics back in 1996. Cornelius McCoy's been really good, but couldn't hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
And we said he wasn't going to drop anything today. That went right through his hands.
Broadcaster's jinx, is that what they call it?
Maybe so, maybe so. Here's another look. Right, and that one goes right out. He goes back to the other Cornelius and says, sorry.
All right, so the Panthers quickly here with 3rd and 10. Brown empties out the backfield, staring down Coates. Now he throws, dumps it off. There's McCoy, and he picks up a 1st down right at the midfield stripe. Boy, Georgia State so happy to have Cornelius McCoy back. He had a catch in 27 straight games prior to the injury that kept him out the last 3 Saturdays. And nice job by the redshirt Frosh quarterback finding the junior there underneath.
Hawley on the stop, and nice moves to get the 1st down.
The 8th 1st down for Georgia State. And here goes Quad Brown motoring inside the 30-yard line, and he's dropped at the 29. 21-yard run for the Birmingham, Alabama native.
Showing you the other thing that he can do. He calls his own number. Great pickup, and the yardsticks move once again. Another big 1st down play for Georgia State.
This guy has future Sun Belt champion and future Sun Belt player of the year in his Twitter bio. So he's very confident, and that's what you want out of your quarterback position. First catch of the day for Matlin Marshall, the 5th-year senior. And on the screen, he moves inside the 25 down to the 21-yard line. Marshall's father might ring a bell. Marvin Marshall spent 3 seasons with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and went on to coach in the NFL as well. Destin Coates is taken down at the 20-yard line, right near a first down. Sir Darius Ellis wrapped him up.
Third and 1 here.
I don't know about that ball spot.
Nope.
Brown says, I'll pick it up. And that forward progress should move the chains for Georgia State, although it might be close.
It might be close.
That first down line is just inside the 20, and I think they're going to mark that close. He didn't get there.
Get there.
Scott Stoker, the interim defensive coordinator, had to step in just days before the start of the season. Mike Collins, who was the defensive coordinator, resigned in early September.
Big fourth down play here.
Georgia State this season 4 for 8 on fourth down, and Coates, I'm not going to make a prediction this time. Did he get there? Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. He picked it up. He picked it up. He got it that time. That's another look at it.
It's so dangerous to have a guy like Brown back there when he could have kept that himself, but instead he gave it to his junior tailback. Sean Elliott's team converts on fourth down. Now they're in the red zone. Brown wide open. Coates could not hold on. And Tyler Glass, the fifth-year senior safety out of Greenwood, Mississippi, celebrating as that ball came loose at the last moment.
Coates came out of the backfield. And Brown puts that pass right on target. Just can't hang on to it.
Beautiful ball thrown by the freshman, but that last little push from Tyler Glass enough to knock that ball away. And now a loose ball. Whistle blows. Tucker Gregg, another tailback who Georgia State tries to find in the passing game.
What a stop there by Elijah Fisher. 95. Was not fooled by that at all. Gets up there and makes a good solo stop. Make sure Tucker Gregg doesn't bring that pass in.
And that's all film study, right?
Would be. You know, you watch and see things that are there. Using your time wisely in that film room.
Timeout. Georgia State, first timeout of the second quarter. This is a 30-second timeout.
Sean Elliott takes his first timeout. We'll take it with him.
Timeout.
2-touchdown lead for the Panthers in Atlanta. ULM's defense trying to get off the field on third down. Georgia State 4 of 7 in this opening half. Mentioned the Warhawks defense has struggled to get off the field on third down this season. The opposition converting thirds into firsts 54% of the time, and that statistic is right on point with what the third downs have been in this game for Georgia State. Quad Brown, well protected, got a man wide open. That's McCoy. Touchdown, Georgia State. Boy, have they missed him. 2 touchdown catches for Cornelius McCoy, the junior out of Deerfield Beach. And the Panthers have a 3-possession lead again.
They finish the drive. They call the timeout because ULM's defense was starting to stiffen. They call this play and they go to McCoy. Leans inside that pylon for the score. Is he fired up? This guy's glad to be back on the field.
Well, Quad Brown, how many touchdowns does he have in this game? 4. That's right, he's got 4. He's hit Cornelius McCoy for a couple of scores. And the Panthers are rolling in Atlanta. Well, the Georgia State offense shut out last week. Kind of hard to believe. They've got 4 first-half touchdowns with a little more than 9 minutes left to play before halftime. That last drive, 11 plays, 60 yards. Took a little more than 3 minutes off the clock. And capped by the Brown touchdown throw to McCoy. That's that Cornelius connection again. Touchback on the kickoff from Ruiz. And we'll see what quarterback comes out with the ULM offense. Looks like Colby Suits will take the reins again.
I know he was up and throwing, keeping his arms loose. They decided to go with whoever has the hot hand, whoever can get things moving. Hunt had his turn. Now Suits comes back.
Suits, as we mentioned in the open, he leads the Sun Belt in passing yards. 15th most in the FBS with a little more than 1,500. 8 touchdowns. He has thrown 6 interceptions. As we saw in the opening quarter, turnovers have been a problem for this Warhawk bunch this season. Straight ahead handoff to Roach, and he is wrestled down in the backfield. Akeem Smith, the redshirt sophomore out of Richmond, Virginia. Just tossed him to the turf.
He has played so well this year until Dante Smith started at the nose. They moved Dante to the end, Dante Wilson to the end, and Akeem Smith getting the start now at the nose. It shows you why with that play right there.
Well, the Warhawks, their coaching staff told us earlier this week they want to put themselves in third and manageable situations, and there's an interception. Bryquise Brown picks off Colby Suits. 7th pick thrown by the quarterback this season.
He saw number 5 early, getting his hand at the right time to make a deflection on a defensive play. Here he is not getting the playoff and getting the pick. His teammates love it when that happens.
I would just mention how the turnovers have been such a big problem for ULM in 2020, and that's the 3rd time they've given Georgia State the football in this opening half. And Bryquise Brown, the redshirt freshman out of Dorchester, Massachusetts, his first interception in a Georgia State uniform. Brown over the middle, catch made. Terrence Dixon inside the 5, and just like that, the Panthers back on the doorstep.
People here in Atlanta really cheer for this guy, number 0, Terrence Dixon, a walk-on with this team, who's really made himself a vital part of this offense. Great yards after the catch. Another one of the great receivers Quad Brown has to choose from. We're in the red zone again.
10th catch this season for the Columbus, Georgia native. Destin Coates bulldozing forward, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia State. So Coates gets in on the fun. His 4th rushing touchdown this season, 12th in his career, which is good for 4th on the all-time Panther rushing touchdown list.
Watch the 2nd and 3rd effort here, just wouldn't be denied, and then lean over and stick it over that line. That's a touchdown.
Getting some help from that veteran offensive line as well.
Running behind the right side of that offensive line, getting it done. Pat Bartlett, Jonathan Bass.
Ruiz sends the extra point right down the boulevard, and a quick 2-play, 35-yard scoring drive for the Panthers, who turn the turnover into more points. Destin Coates, 35-7. Got some fans here at Center Park Stadium watching the Georgia State Panthers take on the ULM Warhawks. Sun Belt football, first Saturday of November, and the 35 points from the Panthers matching a season high. Did that against East Carolina here in late September. And ULM, 3 first-half turnovers.
And that's the story. That's the story. I mean, start with the muff punt, which we thought was so unnecessary on that play, and it led to points. And here's things about the starters.
Last season, they only had 4 first-year starters. A lot of new faces trying to learn Matt Viator's system on both sides of the football. And they've certainly had their fair share of growing pains this year, but it's a young group. And there's a lot of reason for optimism beyond 2020 for ULM. They'll go wide receiver end around with Carter, who ran in a touchdown on a similar play earlier. That's good for 11 yards and a fresh set of downs. Perry Carter Jr. out of Houston, Texas. His father is the cornerbacks coach at ULM. Perry Carter Sr. Spent some time in the NFL as a player and as a coach, longtime assistant with the Houston Texans. Jeremy Hunt at the controls for ULM after Suits threw an interception on the Warhawks' last possession. The only score of the day came with Hunt at signal caller, and Myers spins forward to gain a yard.
I'm not sure that was supposed to happen. Hunt hands it off to him, and he had this look on his expressions like maybe you weren't supposed to take it. So look at the look there. He says, wait, wait, wait.
Jeremy Hunt listed at 6'2", 235 pounds. His teammates cheering him on from the visiting sideline. Plenty of time left in this football game, but the Warhawks are going to have to start generating more offense. Hunt dances around some pressure and completes over the middle. Peterson, his second catch, and the all-conference tight end gets out to the midfield logo for a first down.
More like what you want to see Hunt do here. You want to see him step, make a move, extend the play, and find that receiver. He goes to the man who has more receptions than anybody else on the team. It's Josh Peterson coming into the game today, had 24 receptions, leads the team, and he's the guy they go to.
See, that blonde hair looks so similar to what we see on the Philadelphia Eagles sideline every Sunday.
Yep.
Doug Peterson. So fresh set of downs for ULM. Little trickery. Hunt takes a shot. Got a man wide open. Touchdown, Perry Carter Jr. And credit Iman Nagavi for drawing up a beauty 50-yard touchdown throw from Hunt to the junior wide receiver out of Houston, Texas.
And the first ones downfield to congratulate him are the linemen. The big linemen, the big guys hustle downfield. Pitch it back, tosses it out there. He knows he's about to take a hit, and great reception on the other end there by Perry Carter.
Now, if you had a chance to see ULM's game last week at home against App State, there were a lot of early drops from Warhawk wide receivers in that game as the extra point just sneaks through. 35-14 our score, 6:03 left to play before halftime. Glad you're with us. Chris Sylvester, Sam Crenshaw on hand. Our entire crew doing a great job here in Atlanta this afternoon. And there you see the trickery a week after Halloween. And Carter beat everybody downfield. So he's now run in a touchdown and caught a touchdown in this game. And both scores have come with Jeremy Hunt at quarterback. That ought to give him some confidence.
And there they are, the two of them together now. Carter and Hunt, they're together on the sideline. That was great to see. Here's your drive.
Warhawks will take that. 4 plays, 75 yards. With that touchdown, they surpass what they are averaging this season. And down their top 2 running backs. Johnson did not travel with the team. Phillips was sidelined very early in this game with a lower leg injury, it looked like. They've been able to throw around the football a bit. Quavion White on the kick return for Georgia State. Out of bounds across the 20-yard line. Now the Warhawks will get the football first when we get to half number 2. Sure, they'd love to see their defense come up with a stop and maybe get another score to make things a bit more interesting.
That's the mission right now, is to do that, and we see change another one of the running backs. Georgia State, Myers Williams is there, but he's split out. We got an empty backfield to start this next possession.
And you see multiple looks from this explosive Georgia State offense. Now Williams motions into the backfield and gets out to the 24-yard line, gains a couple. Mentioned he was a defensive back in the SEC at South Carolina, spent 2 seasons with the Gamecocks, and he was an SEC all-freshman team selection back in 2017, had 3 career interceptions while in the SEC.
Comes back closer to home than this Georgia State team, and the pass is out there. And
how about that? The offensive line, they stood like statues as Jamari Thrash can't come up with the football. Was that on purpose?
I think, obviously. Take another look at this. The O-line doesn't flinch. I just stand right there and just see what you guys are going to do.
Hey, that might become a meme later. I've seen stuff like that in college football before. Kevrick Wiggins, the redshirt Frosh in coverage. Now it's 3rd and 8. Brown with some pressure coming. This time Thrash is wide open, and he motors up the right sideline, out of bounds at the 43-yard line, and his teammates are fired up.
Jamari Thrash is a player that the coaches talk a great deal about. Coach Sean Elliott likes the way he does. And
look at the stutter step.
The redshirt freshman out of Troup County High School down around LaGrange.
First catch for Thrash. Brown shooting it for his tight end, and that's dropped by Aubrey Payne, the 5th-year senior. A guy that started his career in the football championship subdivision at Western Carolina. And
he has come to Georgia State and really made a difference. He's really made a difference coming here, and that's a tough break for him because he's pretty sure hands. I mean, that's been the great combination Georgia State having with Roger Carter and Aubrey Payne, 2 great senior tight ends.
2nd and 10. That's the other tight end, Carter, who caught the game's first touchdown, and ULM stops him at the line of scrimmage. Glass and Sweeney combining to bring him down. And another opportunity for ULM's defense to get off the field. It's 3rd down.
Glass was all over that play. Got out there to stop Roger Carter. Now it's 3rd and long.
Panthers need the ULM 47 for a fresh set of downs. 6 for 9 on 3rd down. Brown, plenty of time, throwing all the way to the near sideline, and the catch is made right at the midfield marker. Jonathan Ifedi, a 5th-year senior, his first catch of the game. And Georgia State will punt.
That's a tough throw. He threw that ball a long way out there. Ifedi makes the catch. Wasn't able to get loose to get the 1st down.
So the Warhawks do get a stop and still have time to maybe punch in a score before the end of the half. Michael Hayes, and it's a fake. Georgia State's going to pick up the 1st down and more. Seth Page down the sideline and out of bounds in the red zone.
Oh my goodness. Watch this.
Sean Elliott can't see the smile he probably has under that mask, but on the fake punt, Georgia State rips off a big run down to the 18-yard line.
Snap goes to Aubrey Payne, who's your backup tight end, who ends up. Here's Payne with it, and the option talks it out there to Seth Page. Run. That was Chris Moore.
Straight ahead handoff doesn't go for much. Jamias Williams. So that was Chris Moore. There's 2 28s for Georgia State. You thought the way he was running, he looked like the reserve tailback Seth Page, but Page has the longer hair that comes out of the back of his helmet. He's been dealing with some injuries. So Chris Moore, a grad transfer from Virginia, they use him on the fake punt, and it works.
Works great. Here they are now with 2nd down.
Brown takes a shot. McCoy bobbles, holds on, and he's down at the 1-yard line.
Tough catch. Really fighting for possession of that one, but he hangs on to it. Cornelius to Cornelius once again.
Might have to trademark that by the end of this game.
Here he is. Not going to let it go.
Kevrick Wiggins was trying to jar the ball loose, but McCoy, as you mentioned earlier, with such good hands. Jamias Williams, the lone setback here on a 1st and goal from the 1. He'll get it. And marked short. Did not get across the goal line. Williams in search of his first Georgia State touchdown, and now he trots off the field.
Watch the surge. There, denying.
Awfully close.
ULM defensive front. Remember, they had a big goal line stand at the end of the first half last week against Appalachian State. Got a minute 36 to go here till halftime.
Hunter Smith, the junior, saving the touchdown for the time being. And there's Coates into the end zone. His 2nd touchdown. And Georgia State, they have surpassed the 40-point mark in the opening half.
Let's another look at it. Easily follows Big Shaq Gilmore right into the end zone.
It must be fun to run behind that offensive line. Mentioned earlier, 111 starts between them. And a big reason why Georgia State was able to pick up that SEC win at Tennessee last year. I spoke to the coaches about it earlier this week. They said the offensive line just pushed the Volunteers up and down the field in Rocky Top last year.
They really did. They really did. They came in and things like, yeah, but going inside this facility. Last year, before last season, they installed a brand new state-of-the-art weight room here inside this facility. And the guys really went into it and worked, and especially the guys with the offensive line. They put the time into it. They knew that Tennessee was the first game on their schedule. They were determined to go there and play well. And quite frankly, they caught Tennessee at the right time, a time when they were really searching for their identity. Well, some people around the Southeastern Conference will say they're still searching for their identity. But they went there and they pulled off the room, and it was pulled off the win. It was amazing to see that place empty out in the second half. The band was still playing Rocky Top, but by that time, the Georgia State players were singing along with them.
11 plays, 78 yards. Took about 4.5 minutes for the Panthers to score another touchdown in this opening half. And it was all set up by the long Chris Moore run on the fake punt.
That man, Sean Elliott, said that after the game last Saturday, he didn't want to go anywhere, didn't want anybody near him at all. He was so embarrassed and so disgusted about the way things went. He couldn't wait. If he could have played the next day, he would have played again the next day.
Hard to believe the numbers when you look at them last week. Georgia State averaged less than 3 yards a carry in the shutout loss to Coastal Carolina, and they had just 106 yards of total offense for the entire game. Here in this game, they have 3:30 shy of halftime.
And we got a minute 27 to go.
Well, the college basketball season is right around the corner, and coming up at halftime, we're going to show you a clip of Georgia State basketball previewing the upcoming season. I think everybody around college sports, after missing out on March Madness earlier this season, or earlier this year rather, excited to have college basketball back, not too far off the original timeline.
We want to have it there, and people are excited, and especially at Georgia State, because Coach Rob Lanier's team is expected to be a good one this year. It's Georgia State. Now we got some pushing and shoving afterwards.
Strawn, who got into a bit of an altercation with Hunt earlier. Really upset, and Sean Elliott is upset with him. Penalty marker in. Little check down there to Caden Roach.
It's Travian Robinson also there talking to him, who's the offensive line. He's a defensive line coach, and coaches the linebackers.
After the play, personal foul. Offense, number 50. 15 yards from the end of the run. Replay, first down. Or correction, second down.
Tyler Johnson, the senior offensive tackle. He is an Atlanta native, a transfer from Tulane.
He's the one Georgia player on the ULM roster. And that's something as teams from the Sun Belt Conference come in here to Atlanta to play, I always like to look at the rosters. Here's another look at it here. And Strawn
Didn't see it there. Strawn was really upset, though. Well, Strawn apparently rightfully upset. That's bobbled. Bloomfield holds on, but only gains about a yard.
And Strawn's a great story. You talk about the Tennessee game. He suffered a knee injury in the Tennessee game last year. Was out for the rest of the season. You really missed his presence. The defense really missed his presence. He's come back and really asserted himself in a number of ways.
He was the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago when he had 2.5 sacks and 2 fumble recoveries. That was that wild 59-52 game at Arkansas State that Georgia State dropped. Played that game without Destin Coates, and that was the Tucker Gregg game. Little check down to Roach. And he'll be taken down a couple of yards shy of the first down. Well, ULM, are they going to try and run another play, or is that it for the opening half?
I think they're going to take it to the locker room.
Well, they take a timeout here.
Timeout. Louisiana Monroe. First timeout of the second quarter. This is a 30-second timeout.
I understand that this is a 4-touchdown game right now, but
please reset the game clock.
The danger of maybe trying to go for it here in your own territory. I mean, we've seen how easy it's been for Georgia State to come up with big plays. Wonder what the timeout was taken for. Entering the ball game this afternoon. There you see the lopsided opening half score. And we've got a lopsided score in this game. Georgia State, after not finding the end zone at all last week here against Coastal, they have found it 6 times in the opening half. And Jeremy Hunt and the offense out there for 4th down. Bobbled, caught. So the gamble pays off. And that'll leave 6 seconds on the clock. And we'll see how far Hunt can heave it here. Fret makes his first catch, the junior out of Manchester, Connecticut.
Louisiana Monroe, second timeout, second quarter, 30-second timeout.
You go in the locker room at halftime and you wonder what it is that ULM could see. They've seen some good things when they've come out, with Hunt, things he could do. You would assume he may get the ball to start the second half and see if he can get some things going. That first possession coming out of the locker room will be big for them. They come out and have some success, sustain some drive, and get some points on the board. Obviously, will be big for them. So we watch to see. Meanwhile, if you're Sean Elliott, Georgia State, you want guys to stay focused on themselves and not really worry about who you're playing right now. Go out and wash everything out from last weekend, because you still got more football to play.
Could be the final play of the half with 6 seconds left. ULM 53 yards from the end zone. Instead, they go to the sideline, and that will leave them with 1 second left. Jordan Carroll's second catch of the game, the sophomore out of Forney, Texas.
Nice catch, presence of mind to step out.
1 second left, and now I think we'll see Hunt heave it towards the end zone, or at least try to, right?
That's what it seems like we had it leading up to.
Georgia State got 3 defenders standing at the goal line waiting. Hunt, now that's going to make it to the end zone, and it's knocked away. Looked like Quavion White got a hand on it.
End of the second quarter.
The opening half has come to an end. Georgia State, an offensive clinic. 42 points for the Panthers in the opening 30 minutes of football here at Center Park Stadium in downtown Atlanta. Now we're going to send you to a package previewing the upcoming Georgia State basketball season. We've reached the half in Atlanta.
The last few months have been crazy. Of course, the pandemic has been nuts for me and my family as well. We've just been trying to stay close and calm as much as we can, keep our prayers. Just trying to stay calm and weather the storm. The biggest influence in my life, I'd have to give it to my mom. She's just been crucial to my successes and everything that I've accomplished so far. I love how near I am to my house, and her being able to come see me play is big for me. I love it. I tried a few sports. Baseball didn't work out very well because they said the first time they hit the ball towards me, I tackled the guy coming first. We had to throw that sport out pretty quick. Football, I was pretty good at football. I got a little chubby, and that kind of ended my football career. And I really started getting good at basketball. So
2 older brothers and 1 younger brother, right? When was the last time any of them beat you in one-on-one?
I think I let a few slip by like not too long ago, probably like 2 or 3 years ago. I let them slip by with a few wins, but they know what's going on. They can't hold me when it comes to one-on-one. So we don't even talk about that like that. Favorite win?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I've got some good ones. I comeback win senior year against Douglas County on the road. We were down like 8 with like 40 seconds left. I don't know how we pulled that one out, but we did. That was a crazy one. And college, definitely, Alabama's definitely up there because that was just a crazy win. No, again, the odds were against us. We were down, 20, 22, 20, something like that. Winning those Sun Belt championships, they're definitely up there for me. That's an unbelievable feeling. It's like all the hard work you put in throughout the off season, everything, just the usual feeling of just overcoming that hill of adversity. So.
A 4-touchdown lead for the Georgia State Panthers over the visiting ULM Warhawks. Halftime at Center Park Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Glad you're with us. Chris Sylvester, Sam Crenshaw, our entire crew, bringing you Sunbelt football on the first Saturday of November as we welcome you into our broadcast booth. And the Panthers out to prove that last week was an anomaly. Their shutout loss, 51-0. They fell here to Coastal Carolina. How about 6 first-half touchdowns for Georgia State?
I would expect to see them bounce back from last week, but maybe not like this, but in a big way they have. Also, ULM has had some miscues that really opened the door for the Panthers drives, and they went out and they capitalized it like a good team should.
106 yards of total offense last week against Coastal Carolina, 330 yards for Georgia State in the opening half against ULM. And Quad Brown kind of set the tone early with a couple of touchdown throws, a touchdown run. Since then, Destin Coates has found the end zone a couple of times. Everybody seemingly having fun on that Georgia State sideline.
And don't forget about Cornelius McCoy, who is back today after missing some games with an injury, making a lot of big receptions for the team, too. He's glad to be back.
Well, we're going to show you some highlights from the opening half here momentarily. Here they are. Cornelius Brown, first play of the game, and right to Cornelius McCoy. The Cornelius to Cornelius connection.
It's a recurring theme in the first half of this game.
And Roger Carter, the touchdown catch, lunging for the pylon. That was the first touchdown of the game. And then this muffed punt, one of 3 first half ULM turnovers. And when you're 0-7 and up against such a high-powered offense like Georgia State has, they're going to take advantage of it, and they have.
Quad Brown finishing, calls his own number and finishing, this time rolling out, and as Cornelius to Cornelius.
ULM, a couple of touchdowns for them in the opening half. Both belong to Perry Carter Jr. That one on the ground. Destin Coates, one of his first 2 touchdowns of the day, lunging across the goal line to score. And then how about this little trickeration? Jeremy Hunt showing off his arm. Put a lot of air under that, and well, Perry Carter held on.
They drew it up that way, looking for success, and caught Georgia State off guard a bit and got a big touchdown. Big moment for him. Hunt has shown he can move this offense at times, but the Georgia State defense has come up and stopped them enough that now they have the lead of 42-14.
Lopsided score in Atlanta, a 4-touchdown lead for Georgia State over ULM at halftime. On the field, getting ready for half number 2 here at Center Park Stadium in downtown Atlanta. How about 42 points for Georgia State? A new program record for points in an opening half.
Big things happen for them, and let's see if things continue in the second half for Georgia State, or what the Warhawks can do to respond.
Jeremy Hunt, I think he's been a silver lining to what's been a tough half of football for this ULM team today. He's led both scoring drives, and we'll see what the quarterback situation is come the third quarter for ULM. (42-14), inching closer to the start of the second half. (42-14), Georgia State leads ULM at home. Beautiful Center Park Stadium in downtown Atlanta. Glad you're with us on this first Saturday of November. Chris Sylvester, Sam Crenshaw, our entire crew, and saw that basketball highlight package at halftime. The season 2.5 weeks away. What are your expectations for the Panthers this season? Hello,
always
everybody.
Great expectations. Hi, folks, up there. Coach Rob Lanier in his second season here at Georgia State as a team, as a veteran team that's coming back, and some new players that transferred in and had to wait last season to play. We're expecting great things for this team. They're going to tip things off November 25th, a few blocks away at Georgia Tech. And that's a game that people don't get to see every year around here. So that's going to be big. Georgia State against Georgia Tech to start the season should be great. And of course, we get into the great Sun Belt Conference schedule. We're looking forward to see how many people we can get to come out and watch. Yeah. We're allowed at the GSU Sports Arena as they get out and play the season. So
it'll be interesting to see how those conference schedules work in college basketball this year. A lot of conferences have gone to the model of same opponent, same location, playing back-to-back days, and then you're done to limit the travel and hopefully reduce the spread of the virus.
So we look for those type things to take place in the Sun Belt. May see more of that. May see an opponent more often than not. But we look forward to that. And always look forward to the folks from downstate, from Statesboro, Georgia Southern, when they come to town.
Football games in a few weeks.
Football games in a few weeks, but the basketball game is always in place.
Well, we've still got another half of football to look forward to this afternoon in downtown Atlanta. 6 first-half touchdowns for Georgia State. Their offense bouncing back in a big way this afternoon. Carter, who has both ULM touchdowns, will take a knee in the end zone. And so the Warhawks will set up shop at the 25-yard line. Matt Viator, 50-year head coach of this Louisiana Monroe program, told us he'd use 2 quarterbacks. We've seen both, and Jeremy Hunt has outplayed Colby Suits.
He has, but it looks like we're going to get Suits to start the second half. Nope, we got Hunt. That's Hunt coming back.
There's Coach Viator. Been a tough year for ULM. Last year they were so close to a bowl game. Lost by a point to rival Louisiana and finished 5-7. Hunt takes a shot over the middle. It's tipped in the air and nearly intercepted off the hands of Peterson. And luckily for ULM, that fell harmlessly to the turf.
They're thinking about doing good things, so it would have been a great way to come out of the locker room and start the second half. You go to your favorite receiver, your best target. You got with your sure hands, you try to go to him. That wasn't in the right place for him. It's a little high and it bounces off. If he leads him the right way with that pass, it's a nice completion and a nice first down to start this drive in the second half.
The outstanding redshirt freshman in coverage, Antavius Lane. Roach doesn't have anything. Tough to run against the inside of that Georgia State defense. And it's quickly 3rd and 10.
Jordan Strong there on the stop once again, number 7, along with 52, Dante Wilson, getting work done. Brings up third down.
Brings out the sunshine. It's been peeking through the clouds on and off this afternoon. Looking like we were going to play a rain game for a minute. And that was not in the forecast. We did not dress for it. We did not expect it. But thankfully, it's gone for now. Hunt, he'll take off. Tries to deliver a stiff arm. Stays on his feet, but he's taken out of bounds shy of the first down. See where they spot the football.
That's just great coverage downfield. They can't find anybody. Coming up to try to make the stop there is Chris Bacon. Forces them out of bounds short of the first down.
So ULM will punt. The Warhawk offense now 2 of 5 on third down in this game. And we mentioned their woes on third down this season. Just 24%.
That doesn't win many football games for you. You got to do better than that.
Daniel Stark sends it away. And that will be downed at the 26-yard line.
But we got a flag back here around the 40.
We'll check the penalty. Trennis Livingston has been on the mic telling us about the penalties, among other things today.
Personal foul, tripping on the return team. Number 35. Be 15 yards from the end of the kick. 1st and 10.
That's Keon Carter, a reserve safety on special
Correction,
teams.
half the distance.
And Georgia State will still have the football, but their field position will be cut in half.
They're going to mark this one off. Or they're going to take it all the way back. So around the 12 or 13.
Well, for an offense that put together 330 yards in the opening half, we'll see if this field position plagues them at all. Quad Brown's been really good today. 188 yards through the air, 3 touchdown throws. He's also run in a touchdown. Destin Coates trying to find some running room and gets a yard up ahead of the 14-yard line. Coates, a couple of touchdowns in that opening half. We featured him in the open. Only once this season has he been held under 100 rushing yards, and that was last week against Coastal Carolina. Going to need a big second half. He's got 41 rushing yards today.
Yep, Travion Webster in on the stop there. He's having that kind of game.
Now that pass behind Dixon. Little miscommunication between quarterback and receiver. 3rd and 9 for Georgia State.
Dixon actually broke for that pass after Quad Brown had thrown it. Big miscommunication there. 3rd down.
Georgia State, they need the 23 for a fresh set of downs. Brown wings it to the sideline, and the catch is made. And that second effort from Pinckney, who's been rather quiet this afternoon, might have gotten him the first down.
Looks like he did just enough. Let's see where they mark it. No, they don't mark it on the other side of that down marker. Here's Pinckney.
Another strong throw from Quad Brown, and
he
yep,
stepped out of bounds.
He stepped out.
Stepped out of bounds.
Nice catch by that official on the sideline. A couple of yards shy. Oh, they ran the fake punt to perfection earlier, but I doubt they do it here. Backed up near their own end. Michael Hayes on a couple of hops to Carter, and he muffed it earlier, and fortunate to hold on to it there as he took a big hit. All right, ULM, their offense back on the field after this. Georgia State letting about 15% capacity into home games at Center Park Stadium this season. Cheerleaders out in full force as well. Panthers up big on ULM, a 4-touchdown lead. Warhawks get the football back after their defense comes up with a stop. And an inside run for Roach nets him 2 yards to the 35. 183 yards of offense for this ULM bunch. They average about 300 a game, and again, the rushing yardage or lack thereof has plagued this Warhawk offense at times this afternoon. Down to their 3rd string tailback after the backup who started, Isaiah Phillips, got injured earlier. This is Myers, who catches out of the backfield and surges ahead to pick up a first down. First catch for Myers in this game. Jeremy Hunt is putting together a pretty nice afternoon. 12 of 17, 162 yards and a touchdown.
And especially when you consider the offensive weapons that are not available today. No Josh Johnson. Isaiah Phillips left this game early.
ULM, a play action throw, and Hodo makes the catch. Spins inside the 40. That's another first down catch and run for ULM down to the 39-yard line. Now Jeremy Hunt, lofty expectations coming from Trinity Valley Community College in Texas, where he accounted for more than 2,600 yards of total offense and 24 touchdowns. Talking to the ULM coaches earlier this week, they attributed some of his struggles to the lack of spring ball and the uncertainty surrounding the season in the summer.
Yep, and that plagued a lot of places who didn't get a chance to have spring ball or their regular summer type workouts. And here's another stop here.
Strawn and Clark Jr. all over that run. Myers takes it down to the 37-yard line.
We talked about number 7. Why he plays so hard, because he missed practically all of last season after getting that injury in the season opener against Tennessee. And he has played so far this season like he's trying to make up for it.
ULM on the move, trailing by 4 touchdowns here in the 3rd quarter. Hunt fires out to Jackson, and he makes the catch but doesn't go much further. And Tavius Lane, the hit stick, as his teammates and coaches call him.
It's that man again. Here he is. One of the smaller players on the field, but he is all over the place and making a big stop right there. Big solo stop. A hit stick.
Well, here's this troublesome down again for ULM's offense. 2 of 6 today, 24% this season. They need the 29. Could be 4-down territory, though. Hunt flushed out, throws on the run, and Peterson can't hold on. Heard the footsteps behind him. Chris Bacon in coverage. Let's see what Matt Viator elects to do here. I'd imagine he keeps his offense on the field.
At this stage of the game, you go ahead and try. See what play they call.
ULM this season, 13 of 21 on 4th down. 1 for 1 last week at home and a loss to App State.
Got an empty backfield here.
5 wide receivers. Warhawks need the 29. Hunt sets his feet, delivers, and it's caught. Hodo delivers a stiff arm himself. Out of bounds he goes around the 20. And the Warhawks keep the drive alive.
Came up with the completion that they needed. And the yards after the catch, Hodo.
Stiff arm to the face mask of Quavion White, the junior out of Greer, South Carolina.
Keeps the chains moving, another first down.
Who needs to convert on 3rd down when you can convert on 4th down?
Why not? Who knew?
ULM in the red zone. Hunt on play action. Throws on the run and tosses that one out of bounds. I've been impressed by Jeremy Hunt, and I've watched tape on him and seen some of his struggles. He threw 2 interceptions last week. for the season coming in. He was just 10 of 24 for 79 yards, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions. But he's been really good for ULM this afternoon.
He has been. He has been. He shows some maturity. There he rolls out, didn't see anything he liked. Rather than try to force the issue, he throws it away. Come back to fight again here on second down.
Yeah, that's a smart play that some quarterbacks will try and force, right? Roach explodes through the middle, and he's into the end zone for a ULM touchdown. First collegiate score for Caden Roach, the redshirt frosh out of Magnolia, Arkansas.
In the middle of that offensive line just opened up, and there was nothing there but the goal line in front of him. Watch this. Great block here by Evan Henry, Garrett Hirsch.
And when you're able to effectively pass the football, as Hunt has done for the most part this afternoon, it does open up the run.
Opens up the run, and also when your quarterback is a threat, you got to keep an eye on him.
Davis Hughes misses the extra point. Third time that's happened this season, and there's an injured Warhawk down. So we've got a 22-point ball game. 8:41 left to play in the third quarter. Thanks to a Caden Roach 19-yard touchdown scamper. Well, the weather has been somewhat inconsistent this afternoon in downtown Atlanta. Seen the sunshine a couple of times. Got some raindrops earlier. Got a storm coming next week, but should be relatively dry for the rest of this game. ULM trying to make things interesting. It's a 3-possession game again after a Caden Roach 19-yard touchdown run. And Georgia State's offense will get back out there at the 25-yard line. And there's certainly some momentum over there on that ULM sideline right now, and another stop would kind of get those guys a little more giddy, right?
That's what they need right now. Need the defense to come up with some big plays, maybe slow down that guy right there, Quad Brown. Cornelius Brown, the fourth, who's having himself a game here today. A great first half. He's got Jamias Williams in the backfield with him.
Yeah, tough to believe that he was just 6 of 10 for 30 yards last week. I mean, that just speaks to the great game plan that Coastal Carolina's defense had. 5-yard run for Jamias Williams to start this possession. Cincinnati is really good. They're in the top 10, but if Coastal can run the table the rest of the way, they've got to work themselves into a New Year's Six bowl.
They should.
The pitch out to Williams, and he spins across the 40 to pick up a first down for Georgia State. He will often use those outside pitches to hit the edge and pick up yardage. And Jamias Williams, week by week, looking more and more comfortable as a running back.
Making a difference on that play.
Inside of 8 minutes, third quarter. Williams tries to find a crease in the right side of the defense. Gains 2 yards to the 45. Williams sat out last year. 3 carries, 6 yards last week. And that probably would have been a great defensive back here at Georgia State, but made the position switch, and he's a guy that the Panthers really like in their offense.
It's a lineman. You got 4 split up at the top.
They set up the screen for Williams, who catches the football, and he's taken down just shy of the midfield stripe. So it'll set up Georgia State with third down and about 4 yards to go. It's the same formation they opened the road game at Troy with. Remember, they just swung it out to Coates 4 or 5 times in a row.
5 times, yeah. You're going to do this until you make a stop. Got a third down play here.
This would be a big stop for ULM's defense. Georgia State 6 of 11 on third down. They'll pitch it. Williams has a lot of room, and Williams is taken down inside the 40-yard line. Williams took a hard hit, but he does pick up a first down. Georgia State now 7 of 12 on third down today.
That's Austin Hawley, 15 in white, coming over making a stop. Some folks may say that's a little high.
Yeah.
Officials, no flags. First down, Georgia State.
Panthers march into ULM territory for the first time in the second half, and my goodness, Quad Brown somehow completes the pass as he gets knocked down, and Jamari Thrash, the redshirt freshman out of LaGrange, Georgia, makes his second catch of the afternoon.
Watch Brown just throws it out there.
Somehow able to deliver a decent ball to the opposite side of the field.
And flat-footed, actually fading back, falling back, and gets it out there.
He has made some impressive throws, to say the least, this afternoon. And if anything, he's just shown people how strong his arm is. Webster stops Brown in the backfield. Travion Webster, the leading tackler in the Sun Belt Conference, entering play this weekend. Senior out of Longview, Texas, had 27 tackles all of last year.
Yeah.
56 through 7 games this season. And his 5th tackle for loss. What down is it?
3rd down.
See what happens. Oftentimes today, this has been good news for Georgia State. Dump it off to Payne. Had Carter wide open going down the right sideline, but the other tight end makes his first catch. There's Aubrey Payne, the 5th-year senior out of Locust Grove, his hometown about 30-some-odd miles south of here. And they did it again, Sam. Georgia State, 8 of 13.
That was a big catch for Payne.
Brown pitches, Jamias Williams rumbling down the sideline, and he's escorted out of bounds inside the 15. He'll move the chains again for the Panthers.
Watch the execution here with Brown. Looks like he's going to run it, then makes the toss. And walking the tightrope there. Williams picking up more yards. And another first down.
Yeah, Williams seeing a lot of time in the backfield in this second half. Inside of 4.5 minutes. Williams trying to stretch left, and ULM drops him right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Kevin Pointer and others combining to bring down the 4th-year junior tailback, who spent 2 seasons in the SEC at South Carolina. They're hosting Texas A&M tonight, and we're fortunate to be playing this football game because there have been 10 FBS contests this weekend, either canceled or postponed because of COVID-19.
That's the underlying story of this entire college football season.
Brown towards the back of the end zone, and incomplete.
Going for Thompson.
Kadarius Thompson, the sophomore out of Florence, Alabama, was the intended receiver. And a nice job by Jabari Johnson, the redshirt sophomore, safety for ULM.
Another look at it.
Thought it was going to be one of those 50-50 balls for a minute, and then it came loose. That was actually Chancellor Hitchens, the cornerback. So here's that 3rd down again, and here's another completion for Brown. Ifedi stepped out of bounds inside the 5. We'll see where they spot it. Georgia State needed 11 yards, and might be a little short here.
Ifedi, another one of the players from the Georgia State team, already has his degree, already graduated. There's another pass.
Let's see.
Let's see where he goes with it. Tries to lean for that pylon.
Ifedi out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Graduate of Vance High School, where his younger brother Kingsley was his quarterback. Kingsley is playing in the FCS at North Carolina A&T now.
Timeout.
Odd thing about Kingsley.
Georgia State.
He started out at
First timeout.
Started out at East Carolina.
Quarter,
East Carolina played
timeout.
North Carolina A&T, and A&T beat East Carolina. Kingsley was at East Carolina. They had North Carolina A&T on their schedule. A&T beats them. He ends up transferring.
Now, that's a really, really good program out of the MEAC, and I think they're switching conferences. All right, 4th down, and not so long to go for Georgia State when we get back. The Panthers up 22 at home. So Sean Elliott, taking his first time out of the second half, changes his mind and sends out the grad transfer from North Carolina A&T. The senior Noel Ruiz, he's 5 of 8 this year. This is a chip shot, and he knocks it through. So that extends the lead to 25 points. Back to a 4-possession game. Certainly understand why he did that there. Inside of 3 minutes left in this third quarter. And those are the first points of the second half for Georgia State.
Good to look at Ruiz. He knows his way around Atlanta maybe a little bit. He's been to town a few times before transferring as a grad transfer with North Carolina A&T when they've come to play the Celebration Bowl in the MEAC. He's now here with Georgia State, and everyone here is excited to have him. Very talented kicker.
Yeah, most FCS programs, including North Carolina A&T, planning on having a spring season. Got some FCS programs, only a few that elected to build their own schedules and play pretty much close to a full season this fall. So Ruiz, after knocking through 3 points, has it on the tee at the 35-yard line. Panthers led by 28 at halftime. They lead by 25 right now.
We had a false start here. Okay.
The wind blew it off the tee.
Let's see if it stays on this time.
Wind's about 12 miles per hour when we got started. Perry Carter takes a knee. Georgia State's defense, they've forced a couple of turnovers in this game. We've held Monroe to 20 points after watching Coastal Carolina put up more than 50 last week. That was the first turnover on the special teams. And then a couple more on defense. Colby Suits fumbling the football, and then he threw the pick. Ryquise Brown, the redshirt freshman.
His first career interception. Big time for Georgia State. Speaking of defense, that guy's been pretty busy when they got on the field right now.
Jeremy Hunt, who did not start, he was expected to play, and he's kind of taken over, I'd imagine, for the rest of the game unless he starts to struggle. 15 of 22, almost 200 yards. Perry Carter Jr. hits the edge, and that wide receiver end around to him has been very effective for ULM. 18-yard run.
Great time to make this play call. And up the roach, and on the reverse back the other way comes Carter. Lots of yardage. Great time for him to have it. And a first down. ULM.
Career day for Perry Carter Jr. He's run in a touchdown. He's also caught a touchdown. Hunt steps up, eludes the pressure, and there's Peterson. He rumbles down inside the 35-yard line. And Josh Peterson, the team's leading receiver coming in, has his third catch of the ball game.
And that is what you expect Jeremy Hunt to do when the opportunity presents itself. Step up into that pocket, move, deliver that pass. Peterson gets your yards after the catch for another first down.
We featured Peterson in our open, fifth-year senior. He's on the Reese's Senior Bowl and NFL PA Bowl watch list. So certainly an NFL prospect, and helps to have NFL ties. His father, Doug Peterson, head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's got a couple of pretty good tight ends there in Philly with Ertz and a kid from South Dakota State, Goddard.
Yep, it's true.
Sunshine's back out.
It has been coming back and forth.
We'll take it. We will absolutely take. I mean, temperatures in the low 70s for early November.
Oh,
I'm no Atlanta native, but that's pretty good for this time of year, right?
Very good for this time of year.
Jeremy Hunt being chased from behind, takes a shot to the end zone, and that's caught, but out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Hunt made the most of that play because he dropped the snap and to lean down to pick the ball up, and he rolls out and he threw a pass.
Yeah, Bloomfield caught it, but could not get a foot down in the end zone.
Another look. rolls out. He sees his guy. And Littlefield had a foot out of bounds.
Good call made by the official right on top of it. And Jeremy Hunt put that ball in a position where only his receiver could get it, right?
That's what you want to see from young quarterbacks. And he that time just couldn't get the 6 points.
3rd and 9. Play breaks down. That's what Hunt can do. Inside the 20 and tackled at the 12-yard line. Not too many designed runs for Jeremy Hunt, but the great improv work out of the quarterback. Nothing downfield. Sees the opening and converts on 3rd down. Music to the ears of ULM fans, turning a 3rd down into a 1st down.
That's what you want to see him. He's certainly capable of doing it. Things break down and everyone's covered. Call your own number. Get another 1st down.
From the 12-yard line, Roach, who scored a touchdown on their last possession, gains close to 9 yards on that run. And the effective passing, as we mentioned, has opened up some running lanes for ULM.
That's exactly what has happened here this afternoon. When they have been effective and been able to make some completions, open things up for the running attack. Remember the last touchdown run that Roach had? Everything just opened right up, and he just walked right to the end zone. Let's see how they finish it up this time. They're coming up on 2nd down.
Now, they don't have to snap it again here in the 3rd quarter, and they will not. So we'll head to the 4th quarter in downtown Atlanta. ULM on the doorstep, but it's Georgia State up 25.
End of the 3rd quarter.
Quarter number 4 in downtown Atlanta, 25-point lead for Georgia State, but ULM threatening. Jeremy Hunt, 2nd down throw, got a man wide open. Touchdown ULM. Charles Norman, the redshirt freshman out of West Monroe, catches the touchdown.
And that's where you want to see them go in and finish the drive. Good for Jeremy Hunt. Another look at it. Finds his target. In for the score.
ULM may not win this football game, but I think they have something to build on with Jeremy Hunt at quarterback. And that's not to take away from Colby Suits, who leads the Sun Belt in passing yards.
Yeah, really.
But it's just a different look, and it's caught Georgia State off guard. First collegiate touchdown for Charles Norman. Georgia State's lead, 45-27 over the visiting Warhawks of ULM. They're winless, but they have put together one of their better offensive performances in this game. They're season high in points, 30 last month against Georgia Southern. Let's see what else is going around in the Sun Belt today. A couple of games underway. Is that correct? That can't be right. That's not a Sun Belt score. Louisiana up 14-12 over visiting Arkansas State, that game of the 4th quarter. And then another low-scoring contest, completely opposite of what we have here in state. Georgia Southern trailing visiting Troy 10-6 at the half. Later on, App State in San Marcos, Texas to take on Texas State. And Coastal is at home as Tucker Gregg loses the football and ULM has it.
Wow.
Kilo Sweeney recovers the fumble.
Injury, timeout. Officials, timeout.
Tucker Gregg is okay.
It just looked like he got the wind knocked out of him, but he is still down on the turf. And now ULM has a chance to make things a little interesting, dare I say. There's still 14 minutes and 48 seconds left in this game.
Timeout.
All right, so they're going to check on Tucker Gregg. Warhawks just forced their first turnover of the afternoon. Well, the ULM Warhawks forced their first turnover of the day. And with the score here, they have a chance to get within a couple of possessions. Lots of time left in this football game. Jeremy Hunt, little check down. Catch made by Myers. And he shifts down to the 31-yard line.
Great decision making there by Jeremy Hunt. The presence of mind. Say, hey, here's Myers right in front of me. Let's pick up some yards here. Gets the pass out to number 1, and he picks up the yards and brings up second down.
Well, good news at the break. Tucker Gregg, who fumbled the football, was able to walk off the field on his own power. So we certainly hope we can see him return to action later. Play action. Hunt fires the slant, and Carroll could not hold on. Jalen Jones in coverage for Georgia State. And it's 3rd and 4. Do you run a play here to maybe put yourself in a better position to convert 4th down if you do get there?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, the play you just called should have been a good one. It could have gotten you your first down, but you don't get it. Now you got to go back with something similar. And let's see. And remember, if Hunt, if everything's covered, he may tuck it and keep it to get that first down.
ULM is 3 of 8 on 3rd down. The pressure coming, and down goes Hunt. Marcus Anderson, the redshirt freshman inside linebacker, sacks the quarterback.
In a hurry.
And that's why, and Sam, that's why I asked you if they should just run a play for 4th down so something like that wouldn't happen. And they're still going to go for it here, trying to stay alive in this football game. But now you're asking your offense to pick up 11, 12 yards.
Now it's 4th down.
ULM's been good on 4th down today. Hunt throwing. Peterson can't hold on.
And he got a hand on that one, but just couldn't bring it in.
Blake Carroll, the inside linebacker, covering the tight end. And ULM goes 4 and out, so they can't take advantage of the turnover. And that might have been their best chance to really get back in this football game.
To have a turnover at a time like this in the game after you just scored. Now the ball goes back over to Georgia State.
This Panther offense, 42 first-half points, but just a field goal since halftime. Destin Coates, the feature back, and he'll get it on the inside handoff. Gain of 5 yards for the junior out of Tallahassee, Florida. And you wonder if he'll be at the top of the records when it's all said and done here at ULM. He's top 5 in a number of categories. Trying to reach 100 yards again in a game. Only time it didn't happen was last week. He's at 47 right now. Brown moves out of the pocket and falls backwards right near a first down.
Rod Brown decides to call his own number, keeps this one. Lose a big hit right there from Molly. Falls forward. Gets that first down.
Georgia State, they averaged 205 rushing yards per game. That was 20th in the FBS coming in. Coates on the pitch, slips a tackle and moves across the 50. Gains 5 yards. Panthers getting close at 202 yards on the ground now. And mentioned that offensive line we've complimented a whole lot this afternoon. They're a large part as to why the Panthers are so good running the football.
Nifty running there by Coates. Pick up a 5.
Coates again on the inside run, gets away. Destin Coates, one man to beat, and he's tripped up. Chased down by the defensive tackle Kevin Pointer, who saved the touchdown.
He did. The touchdown saving play by Pointer. Coates right there, eludes that defender. One man to beat, 91 comes through there, makes that shoestring stop.
That's impressive. A defensive tackle chasing down one of the better running backs in the Sun Belt. Coates this time gets back to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. We're always on the century mark watch when it comes to Destin Coates, and hey, could get there. He's at 88 yards now.
Okay, getting close.
He'll get a breather and head to the Georgia State sideline.
We go look at Marcus Carroll for the first time today.
Freshman out of Union City, Georgia.
Fine high school program there. Hateville Charter. Played on the state championship team there.
Brown throwing, Payne catching, and out of bounds he goes at the 5. 3 yards shy of a first down. Second catch of the afternoon for Aubrey Payne. Second team all Sun Belt a season ago. 6 touchdown grabs in 2019, including one at Rocky Top.
Yep, went up at Tennessee. He started off last season. I think the first 3 games last season, he scored a touchdown each of the first 3 games.
Panthers can still pick up a first down. That line to gain is just outside the 1 yard line. Dixon running around. Carroll spinning towards the goal line, and touchdown, Georgia State. Marcus Carroll, the true freshman, runs in his second score of the season.
There's big Pat Bartlett over there to congratulate him. Malik Sumter, the offensive lineman. Also, Destin Coates comes over to give him a big hug.
Carroll scores from 5 yards out, stepping through the defense, and that last spin move able to put the ball across the plane.
That running back room is kind of crowded with a lot of talent. If you've seen here today, this guy's got to patiently wait his turn, but when he does, he shows you what he potentially can do.
Georgia State, a week after being shut out, they've got 52 on the board with 9:58 to play, and Marcus Carroll scores from 6 yards out. The Georgia State fans enjoying the Panthers' dominating performance. 52 points matches a program record. 9:58 left to play. This has been a long afternoon at the stadium, huh?
It has
a lot
been,
of scoring.
And now the clouds are creeping back in again. You know, we started out with some clouds and some rain falling before the game started, about 15 minutes before things got started. The rain has stayed away, but the clouds have been coming in and out. The sun's been peeping out for a time, and now with less than 10 minutes to play on the clock, the clouds have crept back in once again on this Saturday afternoon.
This game almost 3 hours old as that kick bounces into the end zone for a touchback. Well, the ULM Warhawks, as we mentioned earlier, one of 4 teams of the FBS playing a 12-game schedule this fall. This is game number 8. They've got 4 left. They're going to Arkansas next week to take on Arkansas State. Then a couple of rivalry games. Neutral site against La Tech on the 21st. Taking on a really good Louisiana team on the 28th, and then wrapping up the season on the road in Alabama at Troy. That was supposed to be their season opener, but postponed because of the virus, and they'll be playing a regular season game in December. Doesn't happen a whole lot in college football, but this year has certainly been unique. Jeremy Hunt runs out to the 31-yard line.
This season has been unique, and like you said, this is the first week in November. We still got a lot of college football to be played around the country.
And we hope that everybody can finish their schedules. We mentioned 10 games have been wiped away this weekend because of virus-related concerns. You had the Pac-12 opening up this weekend, and 2 of their games have been canceled.
That's tough. A conference has waited this long to get started, and now you got some programs that got to wait even longer.
Roach is taken down in the backfield. Credit Akeem Smith with his second tackle for loss this afternoon. And it's quickly 3rd down for ULM.
Also talk about players that you look forward to seeing play not performing. There's a game tonight, and Trevor Lawrence missing.
Yeah, he's out, but the outstanding true freshman, DJ Uiagalelei, who went to my alma mater in California, St. John Bosco.
That's why you handle that name so well.
And I've called a few of his games, and I think he can lead the Tigers over Notre Dame, but that's going to be a tough game.
What a spot for him to be in, huh?
Absolutely.
You know?
I mean, he just won a high school national championship last year, and now he's on a team competing for a college football playoff spot. Nice throw from Hunt down the sideline to Perry Carter Jr., who has had himself a day. And into Georgia State territory, taken out at the 48-yard line.
Look at Carter. Like you said, he has had an amazing day. Didn't start out too good with that muff punt.
Yeah, he's made up for it.
But he is more than made up for it today.
And that's a third down conversion for this ULM offense. They cross the midfield stripe. Hunt protected well. Airs one out. And that one comes up short. He misfires, looking for Jevin Frett, who is covered stride for stride by the redshirt junior corner, Jalen Jones.
We got a lineman down here for ULM.
Injured Warhawk lineman. There you see Jones just provided the nice coverage on that last incompletion.
The line gave Hunt excellent protection and time that time.
And they really have for the most part this afternoon. Georgia State, they have gotten to the quarterbacks of ULM a couple of times, but Hunt's ability to run has really opened things up for this offense. And I know they wanted that from him a bit more earlier in the season. He had just 12 rushing yards in the 4 games he had played coming in, but plays have broken down. He's been able to rip off 15, 20-yard runs in this game, and credit the offensive line. That is TJ Fiola.
Fiola, all conference selection preseason, and boy, he's having trouble with that left. Look at that left ankle. He's not putting any weight on it.
Mentioned 4 more games for ULM. No bye week, so they can play 4 straight Saturdays, hopefully. 3 Sun Belt games, and then the rivalry with La Tech at a Conference USA. Conference USA had a couple of games postponed this weekend. Now, looking at college football in general, look at the postponements and the cancellations, Sun Belt's been pretty clean.
Really have. There haven't been a whole lot of them. There have been a few, but not very many this season compared to other places.
Jeremy Hunt back to work, dumps it off, and a short pass over the middle to Peterson. Take a look at the play that resulted in the Fiola injury. Trying to hold off Strawn, who's tops on Georgia State in sacks and tackle for loss. And
look, his own man there, Garrett Hirsch, back and stepped on his ankle.
Yeah, hopefully just a minor little ankle roll. As he mentioned, he's an all-conference preseason selection. 3rd and 7. Hunt finds Frett, and he'll be taken down shy of a first down. Forward progress will get the ball down to the 39-yard line. Jevin Frett, the junior, a junior college transfer from Monroe College in New York.
Okay. Monroe. There's another Monroe.
He's a Northeast guy from Manchester, Connecticut. Monroe College in Rochester, New York. There's some sneaky good JUCO ball up in the Northeast, huh?
There really is. There really is.
Well, they'll give it to Carter, and he's got the first down and more. Perry Carter Jr. Touchdown, ULM. What a day for the junior out of Houston, Texas.
And when you remember how his day started, you can't help but smile for the guy and be happy for him. You consider the way things started out for him. He's going out there and finishing off the drive in a big way. Take another look at it. A little inside handoff, a little inside toss, and he just outruns everybody.
ULM without their top 2 running backs, and they've turned to their wide receiver, Perry Carter, who is their leading rusher now in this game. Extra point's good. And it's 52. Well, penalty marker down.
Offsides, defense, number 20. The penalty is declined. Score is good. There we go. Timeout.
Another look at Carter.
Perry Carter, his third touchdown of the day. The ULM offense with a season high 34 points. Georgia State in search of their second conference victory. They lead by 18 inside of 7 minutes, fourth quarter at Center Park Stadium in downtown Atlanta. Glad you could be with us this afternoon. Chris Sylvester, Sam Crenshaw, our entire crew. 3 games left on the docket for the Panthers. A couple of road games and then the rivalry game here at home to wrap up the season at App State. Going to be a real tough one next week. That'll be on ESPN+. Then headed to Alabama to take on the Jaguars of South Alabama in a couple of weeks, and then back home to take on Georgia Southern to wrap up the regular season.
It's the battle of state, not Southern. We're the only GSU, not the ones that know. That's it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Quad Brown, been a big day for the redshirt freshman. He's helped this Georgia State offense tie a program record with 52 points. And Destin Coates runs for a couple of yards. Georgia State on the verge of picking up their third victory, second in conference play. Asked head coach Sean Elliott earlier this week, what's it going to take to get to a bowl game this year? The NCAA said there's no win requirement. Usually it's 6, and Georgia State got to a bowl game, went to the Arizona Bowl, lost to Wyoming late last year. But assuming they can win 1 or 2 more games, I'm sure they'll be invited to a bowl game at least.
I would believe so. I would believe so. And you know, that's the thing. How many wins do you require when everybody's not playing the same amount of games?
Right.
Georgia State's playing 9, and ULM here today, they're playing 12 games. You got other conferences that are just getting started today. You know, how many wins will it take for a team from the Pac-12 to go to a bowl game? You know, so
Right.
you know, we'll see. They have
Timeout.
to do
Louisiana
some things
Monroe.
differently.
Second timeout of the second half. 30-second timeout.
Matt Viator takes a timeout. Let's take another look at that Georgia State schedule. We mentioned 3 games left.
Please reset the game clock to 5:56. Thank you.
3 games left on the regular season slate for the Panthers, who will be home just one more time in Sun Belt Conference play. They only played 1 non-conference game.
That was East Carolina here. Of course, they got Appalachian State coming up next. And while everybody's talking so much about Coastal Carolina, don't forget about the Mountaineers.
The Sun Belt runs through App State.
Absolutely.
Make no mistake about it.
You got to go through Boone, North Carolina. That's a tough place to go and get a win. Georgia State has never won there. They never beaten Appalachian State. And you know nobody wants to do that more than the coach Sean Elliott. That's his alma mater. So obviously next week will be very special to him to go up and have this team primed to play their best and possibly get a win up there.
Sean Elliott played defensive end at App State, was also an assistant there. Destin Coates takes the Pits out to the 35-yard line.
Let's look at Coach.
He looks like he can still play some D-end, right?
Oh, man, you didn't see him today? Did you see him when you came in today in the tunnel? He almost ran me over. No, he's on his bike. He's on his bike. He's in the tunnel that goes around the bottom of the stadium, and he's on his bicycle when I got here today. It's like, whoa, Coach. That's what he does. He's just burning off some energy. He wanted to get to the field and get his team back on the field and show that they're a good competitive team in this conference again so bad, and that's what they've done today.
What a great job he's done at the helm. 3 seasons, 2 bowl games, including the first ever bowl win in Georgia State history a few years ago against Western Kentucky. Coates picking his way forward. Got touched in the backfield and then cut upfield to gain 4 yards. Now, is he going to get to that century mark? I think he just did. 102 yards now for Coates. So in all but 1 game, Destin Coates, the junior from Tallahassee, Florida, has hit the century mark. He's tops in the Sun Belt in rushing yards per game at 108, and will probably carry that title into next week's game at App State and Boone.
I think he will do that. But he wanted to come back today and get it going again. The defense and the offensive line wanted to come out and get it going again today.
The offense certainly did. 52 points, tying a Georgia State single game record. Brown tries to shimmy out of a tackle and gains a yard, exchanging some words with Elijah Fisher, the true Frosh out of Allen, Texas. But for ULM to
Timeout. Louisiana Monroe. Second timeout of the second half. 30-second timeout.
Warhawks.
Please reset the game clock to 4:27.
Warhawks have one timeout left, and just finishing my thought about ULM getting guys from Allen High School in Texas. We'll talk more about that later, but here's another look at Georgia State's schedule. Panthers on the verge of getting back to the 500 mark overall, moving to 2-3 in Sun Belt play, and going to be a couple of tough road games coming up. App State mentioned that they're the defending conference champions. South Alabama's been pretty good at certain junctures of the season, and then that Georgia Southern rivalry game is always fun. And as you mentioned, there can only be one GSU.
Only one. Only one. Only one. Yeah, it's a lot of fun whenever these two teams get together. The folks from downstate, as we like to call them. Oh, man.
Well, as well as Destin Coates has run the football this afternoon, he's had a few drops, and that'll get Georgia State's offense off the field. Just too little too late from ULM.
But even at this stage in the game, Coach Elliott still wants to see execution. He still wants to see them play clean and execute as things to build on heading into next week. You're going to need all of that next week against Appalachian State. All that and then some. He's talking to them now. You got to hang on to that. You know, you're having a great game. He said, but next week we got to have it.
Right.
You know, we're going up on the mountain.
And you want to take down the defending conference champs at their place, you have to play near perfect.
You really do. You really do.
Now Sean Elliott burns a timeout. Not too happy with his special teams unit. Coach is coming out to the guys
Timeout.
here.
Georgia State.
He's driving some points. He's driving some points home here.
Of the second half. 30-second timeout.
We talked about the schedule, and we talked about things that are happening with Appalachian State, South Alabama, and then Georgia Southern. That's what's left with this Georgia State football team. They wanted to come out here today, Chris, and really prove that they're a competitive team in this conference and reestablish some things, especially with the running game, and they've been able to do that.
Well, and for this ULM Warhawk team, doesn't look like they're going to win this game, but I think they have a lot to be happy about on the plane ride back to Monroe. And there are no moral victories. There's not going to be any celebrating going on, but what they've been able to accomplish and maybe find on offense down their top two running backs, it's been impressive.
Has been, and then with Jeremy Hunt coming in, he's had some bright moments. Should make people excited for the future, and the remaining games on the schedule, him getting more playing time.
That'll be down to the 15-yard line. So with 4 minutes and change left to play in the fourth quarter, ULM's offense will take the field again, and I would not by any means be surprised if Jeremy Hunt starts next week, right? I mean, you got to reward him for this.
That was what I was about to ask you. What would you want to do? You got a quarterback who's been leading the country in passing and been lighting things up and said 250 attempt games. But this guy's come in today. Hunt has come out and has showed you some things with his mobility, improvisation. He's able to do some things. What decision do you make for next week?
And ULM, they blew past their average in the rushing yard department. They averaged just 63 rushing yards per game, but close to the century mark in this game. Little check down to Myers, who's dancing out of tackles across the 15. And without Josh Johnson, the fifth-year senior tailback, who was a preseason all-conference selection, he strained his hamstring early in the game at home against App State last week. Perhaps Jeremy Hunt is a better fit to roll with this offense with maybe some of the less experienced tailbacks that we've seen at times shine this afternoon.
Seems like he kind of sets the table for them, because you got to watch and see what he's going to do. You know, there's a possibility that he could run as well, and I think that opens, he completes some passes, and it has opened things up for their ground game at times to make some progress today.
Well, that's complete to Carroll.
One thing for sure you want to do next week is get the ball in the hands of Perry Carter.
Oh man, what a game he's had. He's been the team's leading rusher as a tailback. Well, actually, I take that back. That last score he had, it was technically a pass because it was thrown a little bit in front of Hunt. That's always tough to figure out. And there's the last throw incomplete. And Carroll got a hand on it but couldn't haul it in. So that doesn't count as a touchdown throw last time out for Hunt, and that kind of balloons his total for the day. 315 passing yards, 3 touchdowns now, and this has kind of been his breakout game. 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Hunt looks one way, throws the other, and a leaping catch made by Hodo.
Wow.
Jonathan Hodo climbed the ladder to snatch that thing out of midair, and down he goes with the 42.
Jeremy Hunt makes you go wow here. He's looking one direction, goes the other way, and just flings it out there, and Hodo hauls it in. Showing you why there are great expectations for number 10 for ULM.
And although he's a junior, he's going to get a year back like everybody else will who's playing this fall. And he has a chance to do something special, I think. Hunt sacked. Thomas Gore, the redshirt freshman out of Nashville, Tennessee, his 3rd sack.
And Thomas Gore has had makes most of his playing time when he gets into a game, and here he is with a big sack.
Timeout. Louisiana Monroe. This is their 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 2:40. Thank you.
2 minutes, 40 seconds left in this game. Georgia State looks like they're going to get back to the 500 mark as we welcome you into our broadcast booth. Chris Sylvester, Sam Crenshaw, been a pleasure working with you. I know you're usually with the radio team, and TV's fun.
TV's fun. I usually get that with the basketball team, but not with football. So this is different for me here today. So I've enjoyed that, you know, and thank you for making everything so cool for me here.
Our entire crew makes our ship sail so smoothly here, and well. Georgia State, their defense, although they've let up 34 points, most of those coming in the second half, they made the big plays early to create some separation.
Big play here. Hardrick Willis knocking it loose with a big sack right there. And once again, the front is against some pressure, something they want to continue to do.
Hunt is going to be dropped in the backfield again. And Dante Wilson trying to rip away the football after Hunt was down. And, well, couple of
there was a fumble recovered by
late
the offense.
sacks put together by Georgia State, and well, maybe they haven't been too happy about the way they played defense in the second half. I think the plays that they've been able to make to keep separation in this game, not really let ULM get back in it, is what's going to stand out in film when you get ready for App State next week.
Absolutely. It's what they're going to watch and see the game, the plays that they made. Pressure on the quarterback, because they definitely want to get some pressure on Zach Thomas next week. I mean, my goodness, quarterback up at Appalachian State, preseason offensive player of the year.
Oh yeah,
and rightfully so. He's a dynamic leader for that team, and you got to get some heat on him. You want to try to make a difference.
Great story on him. He was supposed to transfer out early in his career. Coaching regime change, and he has been outstanding. This is 4th and 11. Hunt deep over the middle for Peterson, and it's knocked away. ULM will turn it over on downs, and Chris Bacon, the 4th-year junior, making sure Peterson doesn't take the bacon late in this game.
Mr. Bacon makes a lot of great plays out there when he gets an opportunity. You watch for number 3.
There's a penalty marker down. Both the ULM offense and the Georgia State defense had left the field.
You mentioned Chris Bacon. He's from the area, from Westlake High School. It's a high school program.
After the play, personal foul on the defense, number 47. Be 15 yards from the previous spot, 1st and 10, Georgia State.
You mentioned Bacon. He's played at Westlake High School, and it's a place that's produced people like Adam Pac-Man Jones and a guy you may have heard of, Cam Newton. Some great talent out of that school down through the years, and he's representing well here. I think we got a quarterback change for Georgia State for this final minute 22.
Yes, we do. It's the highly decorated true freshman, Michele Colasurdo, who made his Georgia State debut last week late against Coastal Carolina. 6'1", 205-pound quarterback out of Inman, South Carolina, graduate of Chapman High School, where he won the Gatorade State Player of the Year and a state championship. One of the highest rated recruits in Georgia State football history.
Yeah, quite a story surrounding him. Had a bout with coronavirus and had some lingering effects. When examined after that, they felt like there was some matter with his heart. And so we thought he was going to miss the entire season. Was reevaluated several weeks later, cleared to play once again. He's happy to be back out here on the field and getting a chance to play here in his freshman season.
Well, Marcus Carroll, who ran in a touchdown this afternoon, getting a couple of carries, and Georgia State does not have to snap the football again, and they won't. So the Panthers will move to 3-3 on the season. 2-3 in the Sun Belt Conference. They bounced back after that blowout loss here last week at home against Coastal Carolina, and this is a group that has some momentum, headed to Boone, North Carolina to take on Appalachian State next week.
What a difference a week makes. Big difference for this Georgia State team. Successful play for them today, getting the win they needed to get back into the win column and get the confidence restored before going to Appalachian State next week.
The Georgia State Panthers tie a program record in a single game with 52 points, and they take down the Warhawks of ULM today at Center Park Stadium in downtown Atlanta. Panthers back to the 500 mark. ULM drops to 0-8. They'll try for that first win again next Saturday. So, for Sam Crenshaw and our entire crew, my name's Chris Sylvester saying so long from Atlanta, Georgia, where Georgia State beats ULM 52-34. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.